stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
We prefer it that way, honestly. Like, I would go crazy if I was at the house. Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds court.
You know what I love about black guys? It seems to me that there's a very high number of black guys that just have it all figured out. All the things I teach, all the things that I preach about. A lot of black guys, they just naturally know these things. And they carry on with their lives as such. A nigga who got it all figured out. Of course, you can't say the same for white guys or even Asian guys. Forget about Indian guys. They're too busy farting up in the workplace. Spanish guys, I can't say anything about them because, a lot of them, they're not too far off from black guys. Spanish and black guys, they're basically almost the same. And that's how I learned all these things, from being a good-for-nothing, worthless Latino. I'm a Latino. I'm Latino heat like Eddie Guerrero. Lying, cheating, and stealing. Eddie Guerrero taught us this years ago. Lie, cheat, and steal. Lie, cheat, and steal. And you would think, well, that's bad. That's all bad stuff. Well, where did that get Eddie Guerrero? Well, Eddie Guerrero became one of the most decorated wrestlers, always in a beautiful lowrider, bouncing up all over the place. Didn't give a fuck about anybody's opinion. And let's not forget he became WWE Heavyweight Champion of the World. And before that, Eddie Guerrero was given China by Vince McMahon so he can have sex with her. Eddie Guerrero was having sex with China in the WWE. Everybody wanted to have sex with big muscular China. Of course, none of you did, but Eddie Guerrero did, because he did it by lying, cheating, and stealing. And so that's where I get it from. It's just Latino hate, like Eddie Guerrero says. And, Latino people, Latino guys, they'll do things like, they'll find a big fat torta, get her pregnant, of course, because sex is the first thing that happens. We get her pregnant. And now it's time for the baby shower. Everybody's invited. Call your cousins, your aunts, your mom, your parents, your grandparents. Everybody's invited. And everybody's happy. There's a big celebration for the new baby that's coming. Of course, we're not even married. It doesn't even matter. So after the baby shower, everybody's happy. We got a lot of gifts. Everybody's excited for the new baby coming along. But a couple months later, there's a big problem. You see, getting this woman, this fat torta, pregnant wasn't enough. Because her sister just kept coming. She kept coming around the house, checking up on her sister. Even when her sister was at her appointment, she just kept coming around. And now we had sex, and she's also pregnant. Of course, everybody's Latino heat. Abortion's out of the question. So now people are starting to wonder, the families are starting to wonder, who's the father of this baby? Because I don't see any man around. What's going on here? And then everybody figures out it's me. Latino, he got two sisters pregnant, and now it's a big disaster. The family starts fighting. Of course, with time, people get over it. They just accept it. The kids are all born. The kids are all dazed and confused. And they got questions. With time, they start asking questions. Wait, so dad is my uncle, and he's also my dad? And they're bad kids with silver teeth. And, you hear this, and a white guy might hear this and say, well, this is terrible. This is a disaster. If a white guy found himself in this predicament, he'd go crazy. He'd probably jump off a bridge. I can't believe what I did. What am I gonna do? My life is over. Because white guys and Asian guys and all these people, they can't think outside the box. They stick to the norms of society. That's why they follow the rules. That's why they never break. They never break the law. And that's why in white neighborhoods you have high trust societies. You can leave your car unlocked. Some scavenger crackhead is not going to come and look through your car and take whatever you can take. For Halloween, you can leave a bunch of candy right outside your porch. Some Mexican kid's not going to come and take the whole bucket of candy, like we saw all the footage yesterday from Halloween. All the bad kids, all the minority kids would go to these porches of these people's houses, take the entire bucket of candy, you just steal it all, run off with it. They take the chairs, they take the Halloween decorations, they even take the Ring camera off the door. They yank it off and take it with them. It's a disaster. So, in a way, these high-trust societies where these white people who don't think outside the box, they don't break the rules, they don't cross the line. In a way, it's good because you can build a beautiful society. But these guys are also missing out on all the fun. Like the example that I gave, the guy who got two sisters pregnant, a white guy might say, this is horrible. I'm so disgusting. I can't believe what I did. I ruined two families at once. I was sticking with my dick, man. Mexican guy's like thinking back, he's smoking a blunt after work, scratching his nuts. He's like, this is great. I have 2 fat tortas. One's cooking, one's cleaning. I got all these little buggers running around. Life's amazing. And we drop off these badass kids at school. We all go to work. All 3 of us go to work. And now we have a 6-figure household income. Life's amazing. And at night, we have a lot of sex. Great sex with these 2 fat tortas. And whether you want to believe it or not, there's a lot of guys out there that are living this life on easy mode. And it mostly comes from living off women, is what I'm saying. You gotta figure out how to live off women. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm saying. But of course, this stuff isn't being promoted, because if you promote it and if guys start to catch on, then society falls, because, we can't be having this type of stuff. But every so often, we come across on the internet stories of these people that are living these great lives. And I came across a story of this black African-American black guy, who, by the way, is unemployed. Of course he is. Unemployed. And he's sitting back at home. And it's funny because, this guy, HBO was going to come to his house. He knew HBO was going to come to his house. He knew HBO was going to come to his house. He didn't care. He waited for HBO with a pajama pants and a little sleep pajama shirt. He didn't care. What does he have to worry about? He doesn't follow the norms of society. What does he give a shit? And so they start interviewing this guy. This guy's living a very interesting life. You see, this guy has 2 fat white women as girlfriends. And they both have very good, high-paying jobs. One's in management, the other one I don't know. But to make a long story short, these 2 fat white women are both individually making over $100,000 a year, and they're bringing it all back home to their black boyfriend who's unemployed. I mean, just listen to this.
Stay-at-home dad. In our household, the women are the breadwinners. That's the way we run things here. That's the way we like it to be structured.
Nick is a trophy husband, if you will. We prefer it that way, right. Honestly. Like, I would go crazy if I was at the house all the time. And I pride myself on being a breadwinner, and Jenny's right there with me. I am a manager at an organization company. Jen is management in an IT company. Jen and I make more than enough money by ourselves. We don't need that. We don't want that.
Let me just say this right quick. If you look at a chessboard, the king doesn't really move much, because he just moves a square at a time. Meanwhile, the queen, she's all over the board, okay? The queen's got all the power. The king just kind of holds court.
I mean, we're talking about a smart man. That analogy he made about the chessboard and the chess pieces of the queen being moved all over the board and the king stays still, that's a very valid point he made. But you see, people don't see it that way. You look at the comments, people are disgusted by this behavior. Now look at this loser. Goes by the name of Who Raised Y'all. Who Raised Y'all says, man, I would rather just work just so I don't have to be required to be next to those 2 fat bitches. You see, this guy just doesn't see the bigger picture. Yeah, this is the problem with people. This is the issue with a lot of people. A lot of people aren't visionaries. This black guy is a visionary. He understands, well, okay, I gotta be seen around with these 2 fat walruses. No problem. They're bringing home the bacon. I get to smoke a blunt, watch TV all day, watch all the games. I'm on YouTube all day making comments about what happened last night at the football game. I'm talking to my boys. I'm playing Madden. I'm playing Black Ops 6 all day long. Meanwhile, I'm driving a nice car. These 2 fat women bought me a Cadillac. Black guys like Cadillacs in American cars, so I'd assume he has a Cadillac. But this guy Who Raised Y'all, he doesn't get it. You see, and that's fine. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to get it. You don't have to understand. You don't have to live this life. Go take your ass back to work for barely any money. Meanwhile, this black guy has a household income of over $200,000 a year. And if he decided to go back to work and just do anything, he could be a receipt collector at Walmart. Now you're talking about an extra $30,000 of household income, and it's just for him because all these women pay the bills. And so what I'm trying to say is you have to be a visionary, especially in 2024. And this is why I always preach about, buying yourself a $5 pull-up bar just so you could build a big, nice, beautiful, muscular back. You have to be attractive to these women. Not so beautiful. I'm not telling you to go out there and get with the next Ruby Rose. No, I'm telling you to get a big, fat, disgusting walrus of a woman that has something going for her. And then whatever she has going for her, she's going to be so happy to be around a guy like you. Listen, all that stuff is basically yours now. That's all I'm saying. Society has made it so that guys have to suffer. Guys are worthless. Guys don't mean anything anymore. Women are out earning men. Women are getting more degrees than men. Women are the breadwinners now. That's fine. That's what society did. So now we have to adapt as men. We need to understand what is important, what is actually important, and it's looks. Looks for men is the most, because now we're forced to be feminine. Now men are being forced to be feminine. You see, for the longest time, the thing with women was always their beauty. It was always with beauty, and men took care of women. Those days are long gone now. Now there's a role reversal now, because you look around, every woman is clapped out, looks like a fat walrus, cesarean sections, knock knees, black armpits. It's disgusting. And the men, every guy's in the gym with a six-pack, trying to look cute, moisturizing his skin, having nice luscious hair. A cute dangling cross earring hanging off his ear. So you see, there's a role reversal. Society we didn't ask for this. Society made it this way. Women are masculine and men are being forced now to be feminine. We have to be cute. And because this is happening, since this isn't natural for most women, they're very sad and they're very lonely. And they're just looking around trying to find the right guy. They just want a guy. They just want a guy who's acceptable. And the guy has to be the top 20% of men. But remember that statistic where women find 80% of men repulsive, disgusting. So all you have to do is very simple. All you have to do is basically, I'm going to make it very simple for you. All you have to do is just be healthy. If a guy is healthy, if you go to the doctor, get a checkup, and the doctor draws your blood, and they send the blood over to a lab, and the labs come back and they say, wow, you have good health markers. There's a pretty high chance you're attractive. Because that means you're not eating like a pig, you're not eating like an animal, you're probably exercising. And then you go to the gym, you have a nice little athletic body, you have some muscle on you, and you smell good and you look nice and you have a nice haircut all the time. All the doors are open for a guy like you. You don't have to worry about a career, getting a job, you don't have to have it, you don't have to have a house, you don't have to have anything. Look at this black guy, he doesn't have anything at all. That car you've been fantasizing about, don't stress it. Because there is a fat walrus out there just waiting for a top 20% guy just like you to come along. And she's dying to get her fat ass in her car, go scoop you up to take you to the dealership so you can get your brand new car where she's going to sign the lease in her name. So I want you to keep this in mind. Moving forward, we're about to go into the new year. Make 2025 a year where your main objective as a man is to be cute. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else is important. All these other efforts are, oh man, I should start a business. Oh man, maybe I should start a lawn care business so I can make six figures and then I can get out of this. Forget about all these things. I'm telling you right now, all these efforts are going to be futile. Forget about what Andrew Tate says. The only way to escape the matrix is to be cute for these fat walruses out there that have careers that are stressed out, black armpits and big butting toes, and they're dreaming and fantasizing about a cute guy just like you. That's all that matters.